Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Speak, Film, and Enter, a podcast where we review and rank movies. I'm Nate.
And I'm Dylan.
And today we've got the roundup for you for March 2023.
Recommendations episode.
I do that every single time.
It's tough.
Okay.
It's tough doing a roundup that reviews the last month and then a recommendations for the upcoming month at the turn of the month every time.
Right. We do them back to back, basically, and it just really throws me off. I made sure I said the right month.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you're on it.
I got that part right. So recommendations for streaming for March 2023.
That's what we're doing today.
Yes. And this podcast is called Speak, Film, and Enter.
And he's Nate. And
I'm Nate. He's Dylan. I
Adam's
think we got it all covered, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we got all the facts down.
Mm-hmm.
So what we like to do at the beginning of every month is we've got 6 categories. We like to give people some recommendations on streaming for some good movies that we think are out there. Just kind of really quick, go through these 6 categories. We kind of split them up, take different ones every month. So I've got 3. Dylan took 3. And before we get started, Dylan, do you want to tell the people what those categories are?
Yes, we have new movie, hidden gem, classic, family movie, foreign movie, and then last, popcorn movie.
And the only one that does not have to be available on streaming is new movie that can be in theaters if we feel like there's something in theaters that we really want to recommend. But for this month, not a lot going on in theaters right now outside of Cocaine Bear, and neither one of us, kind of spoiler for our review, but liked that enough to recommend it for the new movie for March. So I did stick with streaming for that, and it did come out back in November, but I finally got to it this week, and that is The Wonder on Netflix, starring Florence Pugh. And I mean, she's really reached anything she's in, I'll watch. Status at this point. The Wonder is a period piece in Ireland in the 19th century where Florence Pugh plays a nurse who is called into this small town to observe and kind of study this girl who the town claims she has not eaten for 4 months. And she's still alive and she's totally fine. And they've got a nurse here and a nun to kind of take turns in shifts to observe this girl and kind of see if they can figure out what the heck is going on. Yep. And Florence Pugh is in it, and she's great. And this is the kind of movie that I wish Netflix did a little bit more of. Like, this is just a rock solid period piece with a bankable star in the lead. Character driven, well written. Yeah. It's just a really good movie. And I know that movies like this aren't everybody's cup of tea, but if you like period pieces and you like Florence Pugh, I would definitely check it out. And for those of you who don't like this kind of movie, well, we've got 5 more for you. We do. So I know we've got stacked here, all 3 of mine on top, but we're gonna go every other one here. So we're gonna go straight into family movie.
Yes, and this is a movie that we've discussed a lot on this podcast, including recently on a Roundup episode when Adam saw it for the first time, and that is Rango from 2011. It is available on Netflix right now. Just a fantastic non-Pixar, non-Disney animated movie. Definitely fun for the adult crowd and the kids. They're playing to both. Lots of plays on, Hunter S. Thompson. It's just a really fun time. It's just there's good jokes. There's really fun, memorable kind of like action set pieces, kind of showdowns. And at the end of the day, it's just a very delightful movie, start to finish. Adam loved it. It's one of my favorites. Nate still hasn't seen it, or he did see it, but he's going to give it a second chance.
I need to give it a second chance because it is weird. I think even people who like that will agree that it's kind of strange.
It is, yes.
So I didn't hate it or anything, but I was just kind of pretty neutral on it the first time I saw it, which was basically when it came out. And that was, like 2010, somewhere in that range. And since then, in the past year, you and Adam have given this glowing reviews. So at some point I will be revisiting Rango.
And it's an homage to your favorite genre, Westerns. So
yes, absolutely. Everybody knows how much I love Westerns.
Especially classic ones.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, back to you.
Okay, so I've got Hidden Gem. And for that, I am recommending a movie called Skate Kitchen, which is on HBO
Wow.
Max right now. This perfectly fits the definition for me of a hidden gem. I don't really know anybody else who's even heard of this. I came across it a few months ago when it was on Prime. Now it's on HBO Max. And it's just 106 minutes, so it's pretty short movie about an all-girl skateboarding crew.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
it's just like a summer vacation plotless hangout movie kind of vibe.
All
And
right.
this is sort of based off of and stars many girls who are actually in this group in real life. So a lot
Mm.
of sort of non-actors who are skateboarders first came in to kind of make this movie that's basically about them, but kind of a fictionalized version
Yeah.
of this group. So it's just kind of a lonely girl who has sort of a strict mom who likes to skateboard, sort of runs into this group of other high school girl skateboarders one day, and they live kind of far away, but then she sort of becomes, they welcome her in, and she just starts spending all of her time with this new
Okay.
group of girls. It's really, really good. And with, it's cold out still. This will give you some hope that it's going to get warm soon.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Skate Kitchen on HBO Max.
Nice. That's a fun one. Over to me for foreign movie. I was
Yeah.
going to recommend The Banshees of Inisherin, which is on HBO Max, but we have used that already on a previous recommendations episode. However, it is fantastic, so go watch it. But I stuck with the same country, and I picked The Full Monty from 1997, which is an Irish movie, comedy drama. Starring Robert Carlyle, who you would 100% recognize, maybe not the name. Tom Wilkinson is in this. Mark Addy. Basically, here's the plot for you if you have never heard of it. 6 unemployed steelworkers form a male striptease act. The women cheer them on to go for the full Monty, aka total nudity. So basically, it's, small town, rural, or, hardworking blue collar folks, little get rich quick scheme. Guys, overcoming some courage barriers and learning a little bit about themselves, a little bit about the world. I just remember it being a very delightful movie, start to finish. I've seen it a bunch of times, whether it's just was on TV or family member was watching or something. It's just good stuff. A little bit of a hidden gem there. So, foreign movie on HBO Max, The Full Monty. And Nate, I know you have never seen it. I would recommend checking it out. It's just a fun time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So it sounds
Mhm.
good. I've almost watched it several times, especially because I really like Mark Addy. I
Yep.
think he's
Yep.
really funny. So I definitely need to check this out.
All right.
So then on to me for classic, which sort of a loose definition of this, but we just basically think it needs to be older than, it can't be from the 21st century,
Yeah.
essentially. It's kind
Yeah.
of how we try to go. So almost as new as you can get, pretty
Mhm.
close, late 90s. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is LA Confidential, which is currently streaming on Hulu. This is, I think, the best cop movie ever made and one of the best crime movies of all time. I have it like only behind, I think, The Godfather as far as crime movies go. I love this movie to death. I've watched it like a dozen times.
Mhm.
This is in my top 10 favorite movies ever. So this is about the highest recommendation I can possibly give.
Yep. Yep.
If you haven't seen it, go check out LA Confidential.
Mhm.
It's based on a book by, I want to say, James Elroy.
Okay.
I think I have that right. Or Leonard Elmoy. There are two like old writers from like noir, like Hollywood or LA crime, and they have very similar names that I get
Mhm.
mixed up. But basically, 3 detectives in the corrupt and brutal LA police force in the 1950s used differing methods to uncover a conspiracy behind the shotgun slayings of the patrons at an all-night diner.
Wow.
So there's a lot more going on in this movie than just that, but
Yeah.
it's such a big movie with so many threads going on that you can't fully encapsulate all of it into short
Mhm.
description. But it's got an amazing cast, like, from 1997: Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey, Kim Basinger, Danny DeVito, James
Oof.
Cromwell, and David Strathairn. So
Oh yeah.
uh,
Fan or we're
yeah.
fans of him. Hit this podcast in particular.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
this is Yeah.
It's great when you can get one of your all-time favorites and sneak it in for a recommendation when you
Mhm.
see that it pops up on streaming finally, and you're like,
Yep.
"Ha, perfect."
Yeah, it was like I came up with it. I was like, I'm doing classic this time because LA Confidential's on Hulu, and I need to tell people to watch it.
Yep. All
And
right.
Adam's never seen it. I'm gonna make him watch this really soon.
We got to remember that to be one of the ones that we watch next time we're all hanging out.
For sure.
Mhm. All right.
One left.
Yep. Last but not least, we have Popcorn Movie, and these just dropped on HBO Max. That is Creed 1 and 2, starring Michael B. Jordan. Getting ready for Creed 3 coming out this weekend. And if you want to hype yourself up for Creed 3, worth checking them out. I just think they're solid, good boxing movies. The Creed 1, there's nothing really in particular that's necessarily it's not very original. You can kind of see where it's going right from the beginning, but it does a good job, I think, of taking the Rocky world, the Rocky franchise, and updating it and giving it kind of a fresh, new perspective while still kind of honoring the older, like what made the Rockies great. Like, I just think as far as rebooting a franchise for a new generation, I think it's very effective. I think it was very well done with that. Michael B. Jordan certainly up to the task, and now he's a huge star. The original was from 2015. So yeah, those did drop on HBO Max today, which is unfortunate because I definitely rented Creed like 2 weeks ago from from Amazon Prime for $4. But what can you do?
Too early.
But yeah, so both the Creeds on HBO Max. Get the popcorn out. Get ready for Creed 3 this weekend.
Yeah, and then I'll just run down this again really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The new movie is The Wonder, which is on Netflix. Hidden Gem, Skate Kitchen, which is on HBO Max. The classic is LA Confidential, which is on Hulu. Family movie Rango is on Netflix. Foreign movie The Full Monty on HBO Max. And popcorn movies Creed 1 and 2 also on HBO Max.
There it is. And I believe it is my turn to put a wrap on the show.
Take it away.
All right. Folks, don't laugh so loud when you've got $1,000 in your back pocket.